In this week's episode, riggers fix our Windex, final pre-departure jobs, we set off, wind, huge seas and squalls. 16 days, 7 hours, 45 minutes later, we drop anchor in St Martin.
I'm Gary, and this is a crew of reality. Our younger brother David, and our long-time friend Lee.
So just to remind you all, this is our plan. Leave Mindelo and sail 2,200 miles to St Martin. This is the route Predict Wind suggests we take. The Azores High is out of view at the top of the screen, creating these strong northeasterlies that then turn easterly, perfect for us. For the most part the prediction came true, however we didn't get the low wind spot shown in blue. So tonight Dave is our executive chef and this is our pre-departure evening meal. And Dave, what have you cooked for us tonight, Dave?
Pork belly,
Pork belly.
cheesy, creamy mashed potato and mixed veg.
Okay, and I've got a glass of wine too. It's dawn on day one of our trip across the Atlantic. Particularly nice day today. I think we might get some rain later. It looks like we're not going to be totally alone as we leave, because there's a couple of boats waiting on the fuel dock here in front of us. We've only got 2 jobs left to resolve before we set off. One of those is the Windex at the top of the mast, and the other one, Dave wants to clean the filters in the water maker. So when we're at sea, we've got our own desalination plant basically. So it's got a couple of filters which David needs to clean before we use that when we're out at sea. Other than that, we're ready to go. So the riggers have come down to go up the mast and resolve our Windex problem. Well, fingers crossed they're going to do it anyway. They've got all the parts they need, and we're going to put them up the mast shortly. He's just sorting out one of the halyards to attach to the chair that he's going to sit in. Now these guys that do it for a living are just going to go up on one halyard or one line, whereas us amateurs, when we do it, we always like a safety line, which is what Dave's waving around in his hand there, but the guy doesn't want to use that, so he's going to go up on one line. So the rigger is taking up the new Windex that Gary brought with him from the UK, and he's just going to install that at the top of the mast, which is straightforward. It just clips on, and we're hoping that will resolve the problem, and it's not the main cable that runs down the mast, which the riggers say it may well be. And this is where it gets a bit difficult, because when it gets to the top, the halyard goes into the sheath at the top of the mast there, and the problem is that it's the length of rope between the chair and the top of the sheath. So normally a rigger would have something like a stirrup or something standing, and he's trying to stand on the shrouds there, but he needs to get some elevation so he can reach up. He needs to get some elevation so he can reach up to the top there. Looks like he seems to have done it okay. So just to frustrate issues, it turned out it's the cable inside the mast. Now, fortunately, Gary bought the whole kit, so they're going to go up now, use the old cable that's inside the mast as a mouse to bring down the new cable, which feeds through the deck just here, and then goes down into the instruments down below. One of the final jobs we've had done today, the guys have been under the boat and cleaned the hull for us. Well done, guys.
Job is done.
Good job. It's all nice and clean now, yeah?
Yeah.
So we're going to slip through the water.
Yeah, you're going to move faster than that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Well
You
done,
have a
guys.
nice day.
Cheers.
Ciao.
Obrigado. So these 2 ladies have come on board to say hello. And one is from Belgium, and her name is
Swazik.
And one is from Paris in France.
Yeah.
And your name is?
Sarah.
And they speak lovely English, but you can see what they're looking for. This is typical what goes on here in Mindelo. people looking to find a way across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And we're wishing these two ladies the best of luck finding a very safe boat.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So this was a job that that David was going to do, but Gary's volunteered himself for it, and we're going to change the pre-filter on the water maker. Okay. Have you got the bucket down there?
No, the bucket's up with you, mate.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know how I'm going to get this back to you squarely.
There's the bucket. Okay, you want me to take that off you? So we're finally off on our way,
We are
and
indeed.
we're in between the two islands.
Yep.
And Gary looks quite happy as it happens.
Well, everything went perfect today,
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
and yesterday
Yeah.
we got the guys up to change the wind vane, which in the end was the cable, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But they were brilliant, and we didn't have to pay him because he took our bosun's chair and gave me his old crappy one. But we hope never to have to use a bosun's chair, but we've got one anyway.
What, are you saying you didn't pay him the €120?
No.
You didn't?
No, he said, I'll have your bosun's chair because it's the nuts.
Are you sure?
Yep, and I said, okay, and you're going to leave me your old one? He said, yeah. And I thought that was a reasonable exchange because we have got a bosun's chair if
Yeah.
we need to go up. The idea is we don't, cheers David, the idea is we don't ever want to go up there, and if we do, we want to send somebody that's small and petite up there.
Exactly.
They won't do much damage if they fall on the saloon deck.
I thought he just wanted to swap his crappy bosun's chair for your one. Yeah.
And still take €120.
No, that's what I thought anyway.
No, I'll negotiate for us.
Did you? Okay, so
Well, let's just talk quickly about today. So we got off the dock absolutely perfect today. We had a little conflab this morning about all the safety features for going across the Atlantic. This is for when we upload this for our girlfriends, although I'm single now, by the way. I'm able to mingle.
yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
we've had a sit down this morning. We've gone over all the provisions again. We've gone over all the safety procedures again. We all know everything. We've got our life jackets ready with our reperbs in. All our ditch bags are ready. All our flares are ready. VHF radio, portable is on charge. All the head torches. And we then had a sit down and went through how we're going to get this boat off the dock in fairly strong winds, which we've done absolutely perfect. We've now got the Code Zero out.
Yep.
We're running on 2 engines on tick over just to charge the batteries because reality's been sat for a month with no batteries running, so we're charging the engine start batteries.
Yep.
In about half hour we'll turn those off.
So this is the afternoon on day one, and we've gone from having too much wind earlier, over 30 knots, to hardly any wind right now. We've got a companion yacht just there, shadowing us. He's on his engine as well, but that's a monohull, so he's got his main up to give him some stability. So at the moment we're just heading towards the sun into day one. Day three, and already we've developed a problem. Our AIS has gone down, so we're unable to see other boats, and they're not able to see us. But it's a bit of a luxury to have it. It's a bit like losing the proximity sensors on your car. You can do without it. We've got the Mark 1 eyeball to keep a good lookout. We've also got the backup of radar, so we'll use that to spot potential hazards along the way. So it's a lovely evening. Sun's just going down. I'm going to turn the camera around. We've got 16 knots of wind. The sea state isn't bad. We've got a following sea at the moment. We've got 1,887 miles to go. And yeah, so we're about over 300 miles away from the islands and probably 700 or 800 miles away from West Africa. This is day 3 of our journey west. We're some 700 miles from the west coast of Africa and a few hundred miles from the islands that we just left, Cabo Verde, and we've still got just under 2,000 miles to go to our destination. Somebody asked me, what do we do out here, kind of in the middle of nowhere, what do we do if people get sick? So I just wanted to show you what we've got on board, apart from the usual first aid kits. So I'm filming this in my office today, and we've got steady 15 knots of wind, which is creating a bit of swell, not so bad, but it's a bit bobbly. We're expecting a chunk more in about 3 or 4 days time, and that will help us on our way for sure. So in addition to the full first aid kit that we've got, which includes oxygen, just in case we had a diving accident, Gary had given me a chunk of money to go to my doctor to ask him to prescribe prescription drugs. So we've got a couple of EpiPens there in case someone had a bad reaction to something. These were really expensive, nearly €100 just for 2 of those. Diazepam, which apparently we can sell on the black market if we don't use them, for about €10 each. The last time I took one of those, it made me feel rather ill, so I've never taken them since for anything. If you get tummy trouble, Pepto-Bismol, which is not a prescription drug, but that's really handy to have. We've got syringes, some other things for tummy trouble. We've got some really strong painkillers. There's something there for insect bites. Not sure what this is. That's for a gastro problem, a tummy problem. We also had prescription drugs for, there's Ventolin, so there's Ventolin there. The doctor also prescribed some antibiotics as well. So the drugs that my doctor gave me have come in handy, because since we've been away, we've had a number of health issues. It started on the day I arrived, and I pulled a tendon or a muscle in my arm, which meant one of my arms was out of action for a couple of days. Then Dave did his back in, so the painkillers that the doctor gave us came in handy. Then I hurt my back, and I think Gary's hurt his as well. And then in Mindelo, I got COVID, which I'm just getting over from now. And Gary's not, the day we departed Mindelo, Gary's come down with something as well, some kind of bug. We're not sure which one that is. It could be COVID. But hey, we just have to man up and deal with it. So it's come to the end of the day. The sun's quite low, and what we do is we're going to reef down by taking down the code 0. We don't want that up at night time, especially with these squalls around, because that sail is like $7 grand, and a squall would just rip it to pieces. So Dave's going down now, and he's going to wind it up. So the sun's setting shortly. This is the end of day 3. We've got 1,879 miles to go. The conditions have been quite nice. We've had sort of consistent 15 knots all day, 16 knots. The sea state isn't bad. Although we know on Saturday afternoon we're going to get quite a lot more wind, and the sea state will pick up then. So we think we might have that for a good few days, constant all day and all night. So we'll have to see. Now the code 0's away, we're nice and safe for the night passage, because I've no doubt we're going to get some squalls come through in the night, and we don't want that big sail up causing us a problem. Sun's quite low now. What a lovely evening. The house chef, David, is preparing our meal this evening, and he's only preparing it for 2 people because we think that Gary has COVID. He's not eating. Hasn't eaten for a couple of days, but we hope he's on the mend. And this evening's meal is going to be?
Frey Bentos steak. Minced beef pie, actually.
Wow.
Minced beef and onion.
I think we used to have them when we were kids.
We definitely had them in kids. We grew up on these things.
And what are we having with those, Dave?
Show you, we're having
Those like new jarred potatoes. We like those.
and mixed veg.
And mixed veg. Hold on, let's have a quick look at the Frey Bentos.
Bit of nostalgia for you
It
there.
is. That's, yeah. I watched an advert from the 70s the other day on YouTube, things from the 70s, and that was the first thing on there.
Yep.
Good.
The biggest problem we've got is we've got 3 can openers and none of them work.
Oh, okay. Right, okay, well, we'll find something to open those with. So Dave and I were up on the bridge, and we could see this squall coming in behind us, which is just passing through now. Went from 20 knots to 25, 26 knots in like 2 seconds, and then back to 20, and dumped a lot of rain on us. That's about the worst one we've had, Dave, isn't it?
That's definitely, that's
Yeah.
coming so quick, isn't it?
Yeah,
And hard.
yeah. So this is sailing vessel Odyssea. She's 18 metres long by 6 metres wide. She's a monohull. She's the first yacht that we've seen since leaving 8 days ago. We're 1,000 miles from anywhere. So because it's a monohull, I've no doubt she's rolling around a little bit in these conditions. I've got total respect for anybody that does this journey in a monohull. So this is the last supermoon of 2025. So as we near the Caribbean, and we're 755 miles to go, being December, we get quite a lot of squalls. There's another one coming there. Brings lots of rain, very high winds with it. We had one last night, which was about 9 o'clock on Gary's watch, and that went on for ages. Okay, so Dave and I are sitting up here on the fly bridge, and I asked Dave to go back to the subject of the buttermilk theory. So he's going to tell you what he thinks.
Well, we bought 2 packs of butter. We've done what they say.
When we got to Mandela,
We got to Mandela,
Yeah.
we bought the 2 packs of butter. It says it melts the further south you go,
Yeah,
and it hasn't.
and it didn't.
So I'd like to know, if anybody does know, what that saying means and where it comes from. You
Yeah.
can always comment down below.
That's right. I think maybe if we could have carried on sailing south, I think it would have melted eventually, but God knows where we would have ended up.
Yeah, exactly that. We
or
can't keep
maybe-
sailing south as we won't hit our destination.
No, exactly. But I think the other thing is, Dave, maybe we're going a bit early. Maybe we arrived in Mandela a bit early.
Yeah,
Maybe
very
if-
possible.
Maybe if we'd sailed down and got there maybe now or later in December, it would have been warmer, and that saying would have come true, yeah?
Yeah.
The other thing that we found, which was really interesting, you know when you're watching programs and films on TV about explorers, and they're at sea for days and weeks, a bit like us, and they say, wow, there's birds, we must be close to land. Well, we've been sailing across this ocean, and we've had birds with us all the time, so we're not quite sure where that theory comes in as well.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right, Dave?
That's right. Well, funny enough, Lee doesn't know this, but when Gary was up here with me a little while ago, we saw a white split-tailed parrot beside us.
Oh, we must be near land then.
So, well, according to that, we're 700 odd miles away from land. So,
Yeah.
I don't believe in that theory. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We've
okay.
had them all the way, haven't we?
We've had it all the way. So that theory got totally debunked. I don't know whether maybe that would be the case in the Pacific, but certainly for the Atlantic, there's birds here all the time. And our theory is that when the boat's travelling through the water, there's lots of flying fish skipping out to avoid us, and we think those seabirds are basically feeding on those fish as they're jumping out the water.
So we're providing lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly that.
Now, Dave and I have not been able to do any fishing so far. The fact is, it's been too dangerous. We've had a lot of wind, a lot of swell, so being at the back of the boat, especially trying to bring fish in, that would be difficult. But on a interesting point, the boat has actually caught more fish than what Dave and I did. I think it's about 10 so far. Every morning we get up and there's fish on the deck of the boat. We found one even in the fly bridge, and that's over 12 feet above sea level. Yeah. So there's a cargo ship there on the horizon which you can see, and he is about 7 miles away, and the name of that cargo ship is One Magnificence. Now, I've just spoken to the officer of the watch, and you can see he's here on the AIS. When we thought we had a problem with our AIS, it was because I think we was out of reach of every vessel. But the officer of the watch just confirmed that he can see us, so the AIS is all good. Dave and I are up on the fly bridge, and we're flying downwind with the code 0 and the jib out. We've got 733 miles to go, and it's looking quite good. We've got 20 knots of true wind and 12 knots of apparent, and we're doing nearly 8 knots. So it's all good. The house chef this evening is David Braun again. And what have you prepared for us, David?
Well, we've got herb spice rice with sweet and sour pork.
Sweet and sour pork.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Do for dinner, wouldn't it?
Well done, that man.
No.
And for dessert, we've got Swiss roll and my mother-in-law's favourite bird's custard. Is that cool?
That's cool.
Dave and I are up on the fly bridge as usual, enjoying the sunshine. This is our last full day at sea because we're going to arrive. It's a bit bobbly. We're going to arrive tomorrow about lunchtime. So we just wanted to have a quick talk about things going wrong. Dave's going to mention one thing right now, which we just spoke about. Dave?
Yeah, the water maker.
Yeah.
So basically, we came out with 100% water, which we couldn't drink because it was made in a dirty bay, basically. So once we set off, we got rid of virtually all that water, and we did start making some the first day to try and flush out what we had in our tanks in the first place. On the second day, we went to make water, should I say, and it wouldn't have it. We lost the pressure because we didn't have enough water in the tank.
Yeah.
And with the wind blowing up our back,
Yeah, and the swell.
and the swell, where the water maker takes its water in, it was taken in there, and as a pressurised system it can't do that, so it
Yeah.
just kept shutting down. So literally after day 2 of being out at sea, we've not been able to make any water. So
So we're going into St Martin tomorrow with about 12 litres of drinking water, which we fortunately had.
yeah.
And very little in our water tank just to use for cleaning. So we've had to go without showers for a few days, and anyway, so it'll all be good when we get there tomorrow. We'll get
It
that,
definitely will
we'll get
be.
it sorted. So the other thing that's gone wrong, we've got an intermittent fault with the radar, and we think when the guys went up to resolve the problem with the Windex, they pointed out that the connection with the radar looked a bit rusty. And because we had a load of rain en route, we think that that's what's caused the intermittent fault with the radar. That's the sail flogging, by the way. The other problem that we had, which we thought we had, was a problem with AIS, which I reported earlier, but we think this is the first time all three of us have been out of reach of everything.
in the middle of the ocean, and we think that AIS, because it's connected to the VHF system, that once you're a long way from anybody, then you're going to disappear off AIS as well. But it seems to be working now, so that's all good. Was there anything else, Dave, that we've had a problem with that we should mention?
No, not really. The AIS, obviously, we didn't get seen for 4 days, and this morning, because we've got a couple of boats around us, we're actually showing up on AIS now. So, as you said, Lee, I don't think there's ever been a problem with it,
No.
except the horizon's disappeared and we've not been able to pick anybody else up.
Yeah, exactly. There are apps that you can get on websites you can go on where you can track boats that have got AIS, and we wasn't appearing on that, but anyway, so we think that's okay. Other than that, the main swell that we had, the big swell that we had, has calmed down. Now we're getting close to land. We've got 145 miles to go, so about 24 hours. We're able to have a fish finally. Dave and I haven't been fishing because, to be frank, it's been too dangerous. But we're running the poles now. And keep your fingers crossed, we might catch something. Anything you want to add, Dave?
Yeah, well, we need to catch something because the boat's been catching more than us.
That's true. Yeah, we mentioned that before.
Yeah, with all the flappy flying fish.
We had the last of the tuna that I caught fairly early on. We had the last of that yesterday, and David made a super tuna pasta, and we had tuna steaks as well to go with it. Absolutely delicious, and well done, Dave.
Thank you.
You're a wizard in the kitchen.
Hey.
Okay. This water, this drinking water, which is about 6 litres in there maybe, plus another 3 or 4 litres in the tender as an emergency, and there's a couple in the grab bag as well. That is all the water that we've got, drinking water that we've got left on the boat. So it's a good job we're arriving tomorrow, otherwise we'd be having to think of other things to drink. Fortunately, Gary's bought lots of soft drinks, so we could do those first. This is my last night watch before we reach our destination. You can see we've got 47 miles to go. Now, this is the reason why we needed that Windex fixed, because it was this information that we were missing, which is the true wind speed and the apparent wind speed, and that's really important information. Radar's functioning okay at the moment. We've had sporadic problems with that, but we're on course. I just wanted to show you this, just to illustrate the situation with our fuel. This tank is still full, and the other tank is 73% full. We've really sailed the whole journey. The reason why we've used some fuel is because that was getting out of the marina in Cabo Verde, and we use diesel for the generator, which we have to run every day because the solar just isn't quite sufficient. Closing in on St Martin, about 40 miles away. Gary said the other day that as we get closer to the islands, we'll get the sweet smell drifting off the land. But what he forgot about was that we're sailing downwind. The wind is coming from the back of a boat, so the whole boat is filled with a smell, but not quite the smell we would want, because the tender on the back of the boat is full of our garbage. So that's the only smell we're getting inside the boat. So this is the Caribbean island of St Martin, which we are going to cut through. There's a cut in the island there. We're going to cut through to the other side of the island where we've got a marina booked. But I think for tonight we're going to be anchoring in the bay outside. On our port side is the Caribbean island of St Bart's.